And tonight we are also learning new details about the 24-year-old accused in the crash that killed Officer Matthew Mazzani.
5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll is outside of Menor Municipal Court with more on that and a strange twist in this case, Scott.
Yeah, it turns out the driver and officer have met before. This is a 2012 traffic ticket written by that officer to Brian Anthony for running a flashing red light. Now, 6 years later, the two men are linked again, this time on much more serious charges. Dressed in an orange jumpsuit, Brian Anthony spent most of his first court appearance staring at the floor, only speaking briefly.
How do you plead to these charges?
Not guilty.
Not guilty to 2 felonies, failure to stop after an accident and tampering with evidence. Charges Marilyn Rayshart is still trying to understand.
It's shocking. It's not surprising. It's shocking.
Anthony grew up 2 doors away, the son of a paramedic who went on to start his own nonprofit recovery house for addicts. On the organization's website, Anthony's father wrote about his own son walking the, quote, minefield of addiction. That quote doesn't mention Brian by name, and Dennis Anthony didn't want to comment when we called him this afternoon. Court records show Brian Anthony was picked up by police twice before, convicted of criminal trespass and underage possession of beer. Yet Rayshart calls Anthony a great young man.
Comes from a family of very strong faith and beliefs, and I just think an all-around good boy, good man.
She's now turning to her faith as she tries to make sense of this tragedy.
Both families will be in my prayers and thoughts because it's difficult for both sides.
In his previous cases, Anthony never spent more than 3 days behind bars. If he's convicted on these felonies, he could face up to 5 years in prison on each count. Live in Mentor, I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll.